Hello my friends and welcome back to the rabbit hole. Today's video we are going to be reviewing a brand new release from Dr. Dennis Gross Skincare. This is the Combat Stress Collection. And in today's video we are going to answer, stress skincare, is it a gimmick or is it the best thing since hydrolyzed starch? Chemistry joke, get it? If you're new to this channel, I certainly do talk about Dr. Dennis Gross often. About, I guess, a year ago, I did a video review of my own opinions on Dr. Dennis Gross, and I was blown away by the results. Since then, Dr. Dennis Gross has been so kind as to reach out to me after seeing my video and has offered to send me products to review. That is the case for today's video. This video is not sponsored, but I did receive the products to test. So what is the whole premise of this line, right? Why would you need to worry about combating stress in your skincare products? Well, it's actually, in my personal opinion, a very good idea. There's certainly a lot of scientific documentation that the body does react negatively to stress. I mean, we saw it in the field of nutrition, my field. If somebody was enduring stress, it was a very common reaction that they would end up being sick or feeling under the weather at the least. So to put this in something that may be relatable to you, when you undergo stress, your body reacts in a variety of ways, one of which may be to deprioritize your skin because, for example, your immune system is a little bit more important in the grand scheme of things than whether or not you break out. You know, you may think in your head, okay, listen, body, we have to prioritize keeping our skin clear because we got a date coming up no matter how much stress is going on in our lives. And your body's going to be sitting there saying, that's not what we're going to do. We care more about keeping you alive. Hello? But that's fair. So according to Dr. Dennis Gross, the 5 signs of stress aging include worry lines, red patches, dryness and dullness, flare-ups, and tired eyes. And I think if you've ever been through stress, you can kind of sit here and say, yeah, I've experienced that. I mean, I certainly have. So Dr. Dennis Gross's solution to this problem was to formulate this line and focus on 3 particular ingredient categories. The first is niacinamide, also known as B3. Now, most likely, you've heard a lot about niacinamide. We kind of talk about it in skincare communities rather often, and I think that's quite fair because it really is a great ingredient. It addresses everything from acne to wrinkles. It is water soluble. It is at the correct pH, same pH as our skin. Very easy to use. Most people can tolerate it. And importantly to me, niacinamide has a lot of research backing it. We've seen studies where it's shown an improvement in barrier function, the moisture barrier of the skin. We've seen it reduce the size of the appearance of pores. And I think it's very relevant to this collection because niacinamide is a great anti-inflammatory ingredient, and we do see an increase in inflammation with people who are under stress. And then the next 2 components I'm going to group together before I give you some examples because in my opinion there is a bit of crossover here. So first off we have superfoods, and these are ingredients that give you a wide variety of benefits. And again, this is a word that I'm rather familiar with from the field of nutrition. You've probably heard of it yourself, especially if you go to places like Smoothie King. Basically, there are these foods that exist in nature that have such a variety of benefits to them, whether you're talking about anti-aging, whether you're talking about providing antioxidants, just in a more inflated way than maybe the more common foods that you might think of. And then finally, adaptogens. So this is a very interesting category. Adaptogens are ingredients that do help you to directly combat stress. Again, sorry for all the nutrition references, but this is something that I'm very familiar with from nutrition. We certainly do talk about ingredients like rhodiola rosea, ashwagandha, and the ways in which they help to reduce stress when taken internally. So when I first saw this collection and all of these ingredients, I was thinking in my head, we've really got to see if there has been research done into how these work topically applied to the skin. To my absolute shock and surprise, yes, There is research, and it is really, really interesting stuff, and you better believe I brought the receipts today to talk about some of this research. So let's take a look together at the ingredients that Dr. Dennis Gross has highlighted and posted onto the Sephora website, as well as what they say about them, and also what additional research I was able to find. So first off, I want to start with my favorite, and that is shatavari. This supports skin's resilience to stress, prevents free radical damage, and supports collagen. This particular ingredient, after reading some of this research, I want to know why more people aren't talking about this. So I found this independently conducted study. As you guys probably know, while I respect brand research and I do use it, I like to go above and beyond and find independent studies that were not conducted trying to sell a product, right? So I found this one study that was done in 2015, and they found a reduction of wrinkles in patients using, and rather participants using this over the course of 12 weeks. This is such a well-conducted study. First off, it's a human study for those of you who are sick of reading mice studies on skincare. And they had a participant number of 40 done over 12 weeks. They had a good control, very good control variable in which they had moisturizer that didn't contain the shatavari compared to the experimental group that did have the 4% shatavari. So they ended up showing that this had anti-inflammatory, anti-tyrosinase activity, and antioxidant benefits. Really, really exciting research. Now, another ingredient here is ashwagandha, which I feel like is one of the better known adaptogens. So Dr. Dennis Gross says that this helps skin adapt to stress, treat the appearance of dark spots and fine lines, and contains potent antimicrobial properties. I was able to find a limited amount of studies supporting this, but in all fairness, I've seen this ingredient in other skincare as well, so I know that it is an ingredient that is working its way into the skincare world. We also have rhodiola. There's another one, rhodiola rosea. That's another popular adaptogen. They say that this one helps skin cope with stress, protect skin against free radicals, and prevent water loss. With rhodiola, I wasn't able to find as many studies. This was going back to mice studies, but it is antioxidant rich, and that certainly would help you to fight free radicals. So I do think it is a fair conclusion. I would like to see more research. So far, I am a fan of rhodiola rosea. I actually think it is a very powerful ingredient that is not getting enough attention. So let's do more research. Avocado. This nutrient-dense superfood supports hyaluronic acid production and softens skin, resulting in hydrated and more youthful-looking skin. On this one, I did find some very interesting studies on wound healing using avocado oil. Next up, we have goji, both a superfood and adaptogen, helps reduce the appearance of redness, protects skin from oxidative stress, and brightens and evens the look of skin tone. Now with this, I was not personally able to find any studies that have been done on goji with relation to skin. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means that I wasn't able to find them. Maybe they're not in English, maybe they're not on the internet, but it is something I would be interested in seeing more research on. And then finally, coffee arabica, an antioxidant-rich superfood that helps diminish the look of eye puffiness and dark circles. And for this, there is a lot of research yet again because we are going back to caffeine. Caffeine is an ingredient I've talked about many times, especially in regards to eye creams. It does help to depuff the skin, at least in my experience, and it suggests that from the research. So let's talk about my experience and my results with these products. Oh my gosh, you guys, when I accepted these products back in the middle of December, I did not anticipate that life was going to throw a curveball at me of a lot of stress, but convenient for the purpose of this trial, I guess. You know a little more about what I've been going through if you follow me on Instagram, but it was definitely a rough start to my year. Man, stress, it's amazing how it affects the body because everybody around me had been sick for months, actually. In Louisiana, we had the worst outbreak of flu in the entire country. So somehow I was trucking along all through November, December, everyone around me getting sick, everyone around me calling off work. And then tragedy struck my family, and within a matter of days, I got sick. But that's stress, and you guys probably have all experienced this in your lives too. And for me, as somebody who by default does deal with acne, the second that I in particular get sick, oh my goodness, I break out so badly. And this does make sense because basically, since I always have that acne vulgaris present, my body has to constantly fight against it. And when my immune system is under attack, my body makes the executive decision, hey, we need all energy redirected to the immune system. Sorry, skin, you gotta deal with the acne for a little while. So all of this was going on right when I started using these products. I did immediately start breaking out, but I didn't discontinue the products because obviously I had looked at the ingredients and I knew that the ingredients within these products were highly unlikely to cause me breakouts. So even though I had that acne at the beginning, I stuck with the products. So I had all these breakouts going on my face initially 2 or 3 days into the trial, but then a couple of days later, they were all clearing up and they were healing really, really fast. Now, you know me, you know my brain is going, what ingredients in here are wound healing? Oh, avocado. And then things really turned around for me 1 week into this trial. By the second week, my skin was completely cleared up, miraculously, because I was still under stress. I was having people comment on my skin looking clear, looking glowing. So I'm very impressed with the final outcome. And of course, you're looking at it today. I cannot complain about these results. But again, for me, that makes a lot of sense. We've got ingredients in here that are anti-inflammatory. We've got ingredients in here that are good for wound healing. We don't have fragrance coming in, potentially messing up all the good that those ingredients could do. Just very well-rounded products that I think really target the types of issues that my skin deals with, which again are very much based in inflammation. By the way, if you too deal with acne, you do deal with inflammation. It's that redness around your pimples. And what gave away to me that it was the products, and I'm so sorry if this is TMI, if you want to skip ahead a little bit, if you don't like hearing about body things, I've had some really bad back knee. Really bad back knee. Have I been tempted to use these products all over my back after seeing what they did for my face? Yes, I most certainly have. We really do need to talk more about body care. It's something I'm hoping to do videos on that topic sometime this year. But for me personally, that's almost a control variable in itself. I've used these products on my face is looking great. I haven't used them on my back. We gotta really sit down and spend some time there. So let's go ahead and get into individual product reviews. I'm gonna start with my absolute favorite product because it just really stands out to me, and that is the Stress SOS Eye Cream. So this is a very interesting eye cream that does contain all of those ingredients that we were talking about in the beginning of this video. But in addition to that, it contains something rather interesting. So this is high in aminobutyric acid, which we've seen in certain studies can improve the moisture barrier and improve wound healing. It does have some people claim that it has a Botox-like effect on the skin, but that's something that certainly does need more studies to be validated. Basically, the idea behind that is that by blocking certain neurotransmitters, you are blocking the movement of the muscles, and potentially topically applying that could do the same thing. Basically a topical Botox. Now, that's not something Dr. Dennis Gross is claiming. That is just something interesting that I noticed in the ingredients. Aside from that, it does contain everything we talked about in the beginning of this video. It's also got cucumber, licorice, an impressive list of peptides, ascorbic acid, lactic acid. No ingredients in here that I'm very concerned about, although of course if you do have allergies, these products do contain plant extracts. A little bit of ingredients that will give you an immediate brightening in that mica. And the texture of this eye cream, in my personal opinion, is perfect. Now keep in mind that I do have a more dry skin type, so it's possible that you might not feel the exact same if you have more oily skin, but for me, it is just heavy enough for me to use it as a night cream, and it is just light enough for me to use it as a day cream. It's just kind of perfect in my personal opinion. I'm really not sure how to show you moisturizers better, but anyway, so I'm blending it out right now on my hand. You can see that it does blend out just fine, no issues under makeup, just very cosmetically elegant. It is a beautiful, beautiful eye cream. I did use this eye cream morning and night for the past 2 weeks. Let's see how much I've used. I guess I used about maybe a third, maybe a quarter of this because it is a little bit of a thicker cream. No alcohol, no fragrance, great eye cream. Then we have the Stress Repair Face Cream. I am a giant fan of what's going on in the ingredients list here, and I really felt it in application. So this product is in a base of sweet almond oil. That is a fantastic carrier oil. I've talked about it before. One of the best carrier oils for a more dry skin type like myself. Of course, this contains all of those ingredients that we were discussing at the beginning of this video. In addition to that, it's got turmeric, it's got mushroom extracts in here, hyaluronic acid, colloidal oatmeal, ceramides. Those are wonderful ingredients for improving the moisture barrier. A bit of lactic acid, although it is lower in the ingredients list. I suspect that's to make it something that you can safely use every single day. I do have one minor concern with this product, and that is that it does contain a small amount of lemongrass oil. Even though it does not contain the word fragrance, that will contribute to the scent. And true enough, I would say that you can smell it in here, even though it is a very light scent overall. And then finally, the Stress Rescue Super Serum. Now, when it comes to serums, this is the step in your routine that should be the most concentrated. It is your treatment step, and that is what you are getting in this product, is the most concentrated amount of these ingredients. I certainly think you are getting the most amount of niacinamide in here, and when you go to apply these, you will always apply your serum and then your moisturizer eye cream. And this too contains those ingredients that we highlighted at the beginning of this video, plus many more: mushroom, licorice, etc. I found it a little interesting that it doesn't contain some of those ingredients we talked about in the moisturizer, but I suppose it does make sense. However, since it too contains lemongrass, and since I overall prefer the ingredients in the moisturizer, I actually do have to say that this was my least favorite. Again, not saying it's a bad product, just out of the three, it was the one that I see myself repurchasing the least. It is a thicker serum as well, which I think you'll either love or you'll hate it. You can get a demonstration going here. Am I hiding behind my hand? I'm still here. So I wanted to give some closing thoughts because this is something I was really thinking about again. A while ago, I had put out a video on Sephora Korean skincare, and I had quite a rant in there about how we need to research and apply the power that is within certain plant ingredients more than we do. Right now, we just don't know that much about them. So upon seeing this new release from Dr. Dennis Gross, I've got to say, I am loving this direction. This is exactly what I wanted to see more American brands do. You know, what is the power of some of these ingredients out there? And finding that study on Shatavari really proved to me that we do need to go in this direction. The evidence is starting to mount. And beyond that, I think that this complementary approach it's an approach after my own heart, you know, to use ingredients that are very well documented, such as niacinamide, and then to explore these new ingredients that may have more power than we ever realized. That is exactly what I want to see. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Links to the products will be in the description box below, as well as citations, because that's a direction I want to keep going forward. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.